Hi everybody, what's happening? It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm so looking forward to guiding you through today's Yin Yoga practice. Gather whatever props that you feel like you want or need. I'm gonna move over so it doesn't like the doorknob's coming out my head. I've got a pillow here today, and I'm taking advantage of the little bit of space that I do have to simply relax. I'm so glad that you're here to join me. So find your comfortable seated position of your choice. Sit bones down on the floor. If you're sitting in your knee or knees are coming all the way up towards your chest, give yourself the gift of gently lifting yourself up. Whether you're sitting on a block or a pillow or a folded up towel or blanket, taking just a gentle lift can help you to allow your outer thighs to relax the floor, your hips to gently open, from there, I encourage you to close your eyes and start to tune into your breath. Long, slow, deep inhales in through your nose. Long, slow exhales out through your nose or mouth if you need to. Perhaps you even decide to practice some ujjayi breathing today, a slight constriction of your throat, pressing your tongue to the top of your mouth against the back of your teeth. You can create a gentle snoring sensation on your inhale and on your exhale. Inhale and exhale sound the same, like the gentle roll of an ocean for some extra relaxation. Do your best as you relax here to find some heaviness of your elbows down towards the floor. That as you inhale, your shoulders stay low away from your ears. Those big breaths where you inhale and your shoulders also reach up are generally a sign of tension. So work to relax and let that go and check back in with your breath. Where are you breathing? If you notice it's a lot at the top of your chest, can you bring that long, slow, deep inhale all the way down to the bottom of your diaphragm? And on every exhale, work to bring all of the stale air out of your lungs, of your diaphragm, of your body, and your mind so that each breath is fresh, new, and full. If you want to set an intention for today's practice, it is a wonderful time to do so. Whether you have a positive affirmation that you repeat to yourself, or maybe you're sending some energy to someone that you love that needs it. We'll spend one more minute right here. My positive affirmation for today is just the reminder that there's no one better to be than myself. And today's going to be an amazing day. Beautiful. One more inhale. Grow long and tall through the crown of your head. Low belly gently drawn in. Protect your back. On your exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and roll your right ear to your shoulder. That might be all that the stretch that you need for today. But if you want a little bit more, bring your left hand fingers down to the floor by your hip. Just pressing your fingers into the floor is going to increase the stretch that you feel through the left side of your neck, but you can always walk your hand further away, maybe even flex your fingers back towards your face as you press through your palm for an even deeper stretch. We'll hang out here for one more full minute, so stay relaxed in your breath. Remember, if your eyes are moving throughout today's class, then your mind is moving. So find that one spot, relax your eyes or close them. Come back to your breath and your focus for today. If your left hand left the comfort of your lap, slowly bring it back in. Draw your chin back towards your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Chest is still lifted and light. And on your next exhale, left ear comes to left shoulder. Whole new side of the body, but same options over here. If you want, you can bring your right hand fingers down to the floor. Perhaps just pressing your right hand fingers to the floor for a deeper stretch on the right side of your neck, or walking your fingers further away from the center line, perhaps flexing fingers towards your face and pressing through your hand palm. But remember, whole new side of the body, and we want to make sure that we're breathing throughout our stretches. So take no stretch so deeply that you find that your breath is limited. Just a few more to go right here. Bring your right hand back into your lap if it moved away. Chin rolls down towards your chest, and on your inhale, lift your head up. Shoulders away from your ears on your exhale. On your next inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, separate your thumbs. Thumbs come to the outside of the neck, and I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together, like you're trying to press your elbows against the back wall. And instead of pushing your head forward with your hands, press your head back into your hands. A big lift of your chest, a big stretch of the back, gentle engagement of the low belly. One spot, eyes focused or closed, and simply breathe. Last few breaths here. So pressing your head gently into your hands and opening your elbows towards the back of the room. Both sit bones are down on the floor. One more long, slow, deep inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to bring our right hand down to the floor. Inhale, left arm up towards the sky, starting to come into a side body stretch. You can keep your right arm long. You can bend at your elbow. Maybe you even bring your right arm down towards the floor. And if the floor feels far or your left sit bone lifts up, perhaps you press into a prop. Instead of collapsing forwards, continue to think about pressing your upper back to the wall behind you, and your opposite side hip to which you're reaching is also pressing down towards the floor. So that left hand might stretch up towards the ceiling, or you might find even more depth in your stretch if you reach your left hand to the right side of the room, shoulders away from your ears. We're keeping that long lifted length. A few more breaths to go right on your next inhale, lift yourself up. Both arms come up overhead. Shoulders relax from your ears on your exhale, and release your left hand down to the floor. Whole new side of the body. So remember, no judgment, no expectation. Find what feels good. Pressing down through your right sit bone, left arm might stay straight. Maybe you enjoy gently bending your left elbow. Maybe your left forearm comes all the way down to your mat or to your prop. Remember, it doesn't need to look exactly the same as on the other side. You're just creating as deep of a stretch as feels good for you. First, from your sit bones from your hip all the way up to your armpit, and then maybe even that extra little bit of stretch from your armpit all the way to your hands. If your fingers are spread wide, like mine were, bring your fingers together, conserving that energy. Tighter also is lighter, that back shoulder pressing against the imaginary wall behind you. We got a couple breaths left to go. On your next inhale, lift yourself up. Both arms come back up overhead. Interlace your fingers again. Bring them behind your neck. This time, tuck your chin to your chest and stretch your elbows forward and a little bit together. Instead of pushing your head down towards your lap, think about your hands creating more length for your spine. So your hands gently drag forward towards the top of your head as you extra emphasize that stretch the wall in front of you. Low belly can pull in, create some big breaths as you find space on your backside and a big stretch into your back. We got less than a minute to go. On your next inhale, low belly draws in, sit bones ground. Lift yourself up. Stretch your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And let's take a spine twist. Twisting towards the left to get started. Left hand comes close by the base of your spine so that you're not hunched or rounding through your back. You're creating as much of a lift here as you can. And then right hand is just going to gently help. Whether that means that right hand is pressing against your right knee so that you can still find that length in your spine. Maybe you're so open you can reach towards your left knee. I find reaching towards the left knee creates that rounding and a little too much of a stretch for my body. So I like to stay a little bit more open in the twist. Shoulders down away from your ears, like a string is lifting your sternum up towards the ceiling, length through the crown of your head. And when you can't rotate that left shoulder to the back wall anymore, can you turn, twist, and look over your left shoulder? Back to your slow, intentional, perhaps even ujjayi breathing. You'll have the option to bring your arms back up overhead on the next inhale, or just simply turn towards the front. And on your exhale, twist to the opposite side. So right hand comes close by the base of the spine. Roll your right shoulder down and back. Chest lifts, already pulling your right shoulder to the back of the room. Left hand can press against your left knee. Or perhaps you take that extra reach towards the right side. No collapsing your chest down towards the floor, working to keep that extra long lift wherever you need to be. We've got just about 1 minute to go here. So keep those shoulders rolled down and back. Keep your chest open. And when you can't open your chest anymore, turn, twist, and look over your right shoulder. Find a spot to relax your eyes or close them and back to your breath and stillness. All right. Option to inhale your arms up overhead or slowly turn back towards the front. And exhale, take a moment and just relax. Let's bring some stretches into our legs. They've been in one position for so long. So go ahead, extend your legs nice and long in front of you. You can even bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet. Bring your hands behind your back and take a nice supported back bend here. And then we'll bring it into a forward fold. So shoulders stack on top of your hips. It can be helpful to get there by gently walking your hips back. Walking your hips back one glute at a time is going to bring your belly closer towards your thighs without rounding. So we don't want all of this space as we reach forward. That can be very tough on the back. We want to bring the belly to thighs. If your hamstrings are very tight and you cannot find that hip hinge from the floor with your legs straight, take a generous bend of your knees, as generous as you need the bend to be, and then fingers can be on the floor for some support. Straight legs stacked with that slight hinge is staff pose. Oh my goodness. Knees bent or straight with the forward fold is bringing you into caterpillar. And maybe your belly still is not quite touching on your thighs, but you can use your pillow or your block to assist you right here. And then instead of your head being heavy, you can bring your hands to the party and just simply relax. Allow your toes to do whatever they want to do. More stretch is flex towards your face. Less stretch is just simply relaxing and taking some breath right here. Let's hang out for the next 2 amazing minutes. You can do it. So slow and steady wins the race. And remember, we're going for stillness. So if someone walks by, you are a statue and you want to create a depth in your stretch that's noticeable. And maybe it's a little uncomfortable, but it's not going to keep you from breathing. And it's also not so deep that you need to consistently release yourself from the stretch. We are holding here so that we can overcome our body's flight or fight response. As we first come into a stretch, our body is definitely going to say, whoa, 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 hold on, is that safe? And as you breathe here and relax and show that you're calm, it gives your fascia the opportunity to stretch. However, if at any point, as always, your stretch goes from being like, yeah, that's noticeable and maybe a little uncomfortable to truly, ow, then work your way back to where you just feel a little meh and hold it there. We got 1 minute to go. I'm sure you just created the most fantastic stillness. Draw your low belly in on your next inhale. Lift yourself up. Let's swing our legs underneath of us and come into a tabletop. All fours for a little cat cow. Take your time getting there because you get 2 whole minutes from 10 seconds ago to find the cat cow that your body wants or needs. And you can get right into it while I tuck my shirt in. Oh, so good. Great. So hopefully your fingers were spread really nice and wide like a starfish. And don't feel like you can only get a traditional cat cow here. You're welcome to take some shakes and some shimmies through your shoulders, through your hips, maybe exploring some big circles with your hips. And while I encourage you to try things in both directions, it's also quite normal if one side feels a little bit more tight, tired, tense, challenged than another. So if you need to spend a couple extra breaths, give a little bit more love to one particular part of the body, you know yourself best, and you've got just about 1 minute left for some free movement right here. Then we'll give a little bit more love into our side body before we'll take a child's pose. So last few moments, last few breaths with this cat cow. Make your way into a neutral tabletop and extend your left leg long behind you. Make sure that you're not opening up towards the left side of the room. So turning your left hip down towards the floor, keeping your low belly pulled in so you're not in any sort of a sag of your belly towards the mat. Inhale your left leg up and cross it over the right side of the body. Left toes touch down to the floor as you look over your left shoulder. Right shoulder, right shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Maybe you see your toes. Maybe you don't. You can just look in the direction over your right shoulder. And if you want to change the stretch a little bit, if it feels good, you can roll onto the pinky toe side of your left foot and shift your hips even more to the left side. We got 1 minute right here. Shoulders drawing away from your ears. So gentle stretch into your low back. And you don't have to really look at your foot. Your eyes can be closed even right now as you simply breathe. But this one might take a little bit of balance, and eyes open might help with that gentle balance. Just focusing on one spot. Start to bring that big shift of your hips back to center. If you rolled to the pinky toe edge of your left foot, back to the ball of your left foot. Inhale that left leg up and bring it to meet with your right. Toes come together. Open your knees nice and wide. Send your glutes back towards your heels. Relax your head and your hairline down towards the floor. And I encourage you to bring your hands all the way to the back of your mat. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. Mouth and nose can kiss down towards the floor. However, if you would like to turn and twist your head to one side and get a little bit of a stretch of your neck, we'll take another child's pose after this so you can also find the opposite direction. For now, send your big breaths into the back side of the body. Inhale, feel expansion throughout your ribs, and exhale, just sinking a little bit more towards your knees, towards the floor. And if the floor feels or felt really far away, I hope that you brought your prop into place so your head can be relaxed on your pillow if you'd like. Drag your fingertips through imaginary sand back underneath of your shoulders. Press yourself up into tabletop once again. Walk your knees in gently. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Shoulders away from your ears. Find your flat back. And let's send our right leg long behind us. Turning that right hip down to the floor for just a moment. And then inhale your right leg up and cross it over the left side of the body. Start to look over your left shoulder for your right foot. You can stay right here, pressing the toes into the floor, or perhaps you roll onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot and shift your hips even more to the right side. Keep drawing shoulders away from your ears. Find that length through the crown of your head, length and lift as you look. We've got just about 1 minute to go. Slowly bring your eye gaze back to center. If you rolled to the edge of your right foot, come back onto the ball of your foot, coming out opposite the way we went in, bringing that left leg back to meet with the right. Once again, toes come together, knees open as wide as you want. Sink your glutes back to your heels, and let's take our opposite side, child's pose. Maybe this time you want to have your arms extended forward or that extra opening of your back. Hands towards the back of the mat, and you can turn, twist your head in the other direction, and simply relax. Excuse me. Take your time bringing your hands, palms back underneath of your chest, shoulders. As you're ready, press yourself up to tabletop. Once again, walk your legs closer towards each other and tuck your toes under. You can even lift your knee up and drag your foot towards the back of the mat to get a deeper tuck of your toes and see how many of your toes you can get involved. So pinky toe all the way up towards the big toe. We're taking big toe stretch. Walk your hands back to your knees. Depending on how stressed, tired you are, you might not be able to go much further than hands coming towards your knees. But perhaps you're able to lift yourself up, even working towards applying some pressure of your glutes towards your heels. We've got 1 minute to go right here, and this is a Posture where you might need to release a little sooner than you want to. Remember, we're trying to create stillness. So close your eyes or focus on one spot and tune into your breath. Keep yourself relaxed and make your exhale longer than your inhale. And then in just a few breaths, we'll be done. Nice, slow, deep inhale in through your nose. Longer, slower exhale out through your nose or mouth. One more. Take your time, no rush. You already created such beautiful stillness. Bring your hands back to the floor into tabletop, untuck your toes, and enjoy the joy of tapping the tops of the feet into the floor. Awesome. We're going to come onto our glutes. You can do so any way that you want. Maybe you just shift your hips to the side. Maybe you walk your knees forward. I like to cross my ankles and then roll over onto my bum. Lower yourself down onto your back. We're making our way towards the end of our practice. As we get here, let's extend our legs nice and long, pass through Savasana for just a moment. So heels touch, toes fall open, palms facing up towards the ceiling, giving our bodies an opportunity to soak in all of the stretching that we've already done. And coming out of that big toe stretch, maybe you even feel some tingling sensation in your feet as we did also somewhat cut off a little circulation into the ankles with that deep bend of our ankles. All right, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and then flex your toes towards your face. Feel the back of especially the left calf muscle down on the floor, and then draw your right leg up. Pull it out for a moment to avoid your rib cage, and then interlace all 10 fingers about an inch or two below your knees, and then fingers lay flat on your shin. Can you bring the outer edges of your shoulders towards the mat and then stretch your elbows down towards your hips? Chin tucks towards your chest, maybe even already bringing on some double or triple chins right here, but they're intentional. We're working our deep neck cervical flexors, and you're also helping with your elimination and digestion here. As you pull your knee towards your chest, also start to press your shin into your hands palms. We're creating an isometric contraction. Your low belly is drawn in, your low back is pressed down on the floor, and you might even feel a pinching or compression sensation in your lower right abdomen. That's your ascending colon. You might also just feel that pinching compression sensation in your right hip because it's a little tight. We're going to relax and release it just a bit by bringing left hand to the outside of the right knee and rolling over into a spine twist. I'm even going to bring my pillow back to the party so I can place my inner thigh against that pillow for a little bit of relaxation. Right arm can do whatever your right arm wants to do. And for an extra stretch of your neck, you can turn, twist, and look over your right shoulder. Slowly, gently roll onto your back once again and extend your right leg nice and long. Flex your right toes up towards your face, right calf muscle touching on the floor. Draw your left leg up this time. Pull it out away from your rib cage and then back in towards your chest. Interlace all 10 fingers. If you can remember which finger you had on top last time, switch that up too. And if you don't remember, it's okay. Relax the outer edges of the shoulders to the mat and then stretch your elbows down towards your hips. As your chin tucks towards your chest, you're creating a little bit more length through the crown of your head to the wall behind you, and you're stretching your foot like you're standing and you're pressing the sole of your extended leg towards the wall away from you. Your bent leg, knee, foot is just relaxed. But now, as you start to pull onto your shin, you start to press your shin into your hands palms. Low belly draws towards the floor, low back presses down towards the mat. And this time you might feel that pinching compression sensation in your lower left abdomen. We're working the descending colon. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left leg. Do whatever feels right with your left arm as we roll to the left side. Your spine twist does not need to look exactly the same on this side as it did on the first side. Just find a twist that feels right for you. And then that same option to look over your left shoulder and include a gentle stretch of your neck with every exhale. Do your best to melt into the floor. And then also, pardon me for Slowly bring your head back in line with your heart. Roll over onto your back. Extend your left leg long. Then draw both legs up. One last knee to chest pose. Stretch your elbows down towards the bottom of your mat. Once more, tuck your chin to your chest. Take this opportunity to try, even if it's just 1 inch at a time, moving down your body to get your total cervical spine flat on the floor. And eventually in the future, we'll be able to get it all down on the mat together. Go ahead, take one more deep inhale, knees towards chest, knees squeezing in towards each other as well. So together and then in, feet relaxed side by side. And on your exhale, let go. Extend your legs long, heels touch, toes fall open, arms by your side. And if you would like to open your arms a little bit wider or open your legs a little bit wider, you are welcome to, but we have made it here to final savasana. So please give this asana as much focus as you did the more active asanas that we enjoyed, because it is just as important. And can you even, while we're here, lift the corners of your mouth into a smile? If you set an intention for today's practice, it's a wonderful time to return to it. And if you did not set an intention for today's practice, then I encourage you to think of one positive thoughts. Perhaps it's something that you can take pride in for having accomplished this week, or maybe it's just something wonderful about yourself that you choose to remind you of right now. Between now and the time we are together again, I hope that you will create time for yourself every day to continue to think good thoughts, to intentionally speak good words to yourself, to others around you, to eat good foods and do good deeds so you nourish yourself from the inside out. Because if no one has told you today, you are special and you're worth it and you're worthy, and there really is no one better to be than yourself. So stay here in this final savasana, relax, be and do you for as long as you possibly can. And while you're there, I want to say thank you. Thank you. The light within me honors sees and is so thankful for the light within you. So please keep doing your best. Keep showing up. Keep shining. Keep putting your positive energy out into the world and making this time for yourself. Because when you invest in you, you feel so good and you encourage others to also do the same. So this year, let's rise up. Let's feel good. Let's nourish ourselves and be kind together and change the world one day, one breath at a time. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I look forward to bringing this beautiful practice to you throughout the rest of the year. Till then, namaste.